So now we again start with the mobile net. So mobile net is aimed at devices with limited memory and computing power, such as mobile phones. The name kind of like gives it away. To reduce its footprint, the network uses DSC, linear bottlenecks, and inverted residuals. Now, these are actually very complicated terms, and if you want, you can search them up and understand what each of those means. But basically, what happens is that rather than just extracting information from the image itself through various layers, what we do is we comprise them of some of the convolutional 2D layers and some Maxwell 2D layers, but we compress it rather than expansion. And with less amount of layers, we are trying to find equally accurate predictions for image classifications, which MobileNet is actually able to do. Now, as I told you before also, this MobileNet has less parameters and less number of layers itself also. So what you have to do is type in this line of code to call in your MobileNet for the first time. So if you're able to write this, so what it does is it looks for the TensorFlow library package and inside that finds if there is any mobile.net or MobileNet uh, package or MobileNet file. If there is not, then it downloads it from its database and then you can start using the MobileNet. So for the first time, you must have an internet connection so that you are able to download the MobileNet file. You can see .h file is present here, and if you click on it, you can okay. So it's basically asking you to download only. Yeah, so it's only asking you to download. So you can see that an H5 file is present. That is basically the saved weights and classes for the or the information of the mobile net that it has attained after training. Next, you can see that using the dot summary, we can understand how many layers are present, how many each of the parameters should be there, and lastly, the total number of parameters, which you can see is 4 million. And next, what we can do is now this is a really interesting part. So rather than this being just a pre-trained model, we can actually again retrain the model also. And if not, then we can actually retrain a particular set of layers itself. So you can see that I have taken the last six. So you can see here I have written how to choose till when to take the layer. So what you do is change the values here. So the number of elements that the number of layers that I'm taking is different. Then use my output layer after taking on the rest of the layers. Now we know that mobile and VGG16 both are functional model while we use sequential model to create neural networks. So before we were iterating all over layers from VGC16 to a sequential model, now we are directly using the model itself. So when we were actually building our own model, we were going over each and every layer, training it again and again for all the epochs. While what we are doing here is rather than training all of the models, all of the layers, we're just taking out some of the layers and using them, or I should say, training them itself only. So you can see that I have taken this as my input and this as my output, this X. So I have given it the inputs are my input of my mobile net class, or I should say model. The output is again defined by me, not the default output of the mobile net class or model. So you can see that I've already specified there are 88 layers inside the mobile net and I'm only training the last 23 layers. So you can see that this is what it is telling me. That oh shit. I don't think it is going to run. Yeah, it won't be running. Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. We will see this later on. So you can see that I've again used the dot summary, and with this, you can see that the number of parameters have decreased, meaning I have changed the last 23 layers and trained them using only two classes. So that's why the total number of parameters have also decreased. Now, again, what I'm doing is just compile and training the model. But one thing to notice here is that we had the same settings for compiling both the model we made and the model we are using now, that is MobileNet. But you can see that the time that one took was much more as compared to the time MobileNet is taking. It's only taking 5 seconds to 6 seconds for going over one epoch with the same size of the dataset itself. But the thing is that the accuracy is very high. It starts off with 0.91, goes to 0.95, goes to 97, also 98, 96, 95. So you can say that around 96 is the average of the validation accuracy. And you can say that also that the model is also generalizing well because it has reached 0.99, and the validation accuracy has also not like decreased or is much less as compared to my training accuracy. So at this point we have just trained the model. Now we are using it to predict. So you can see that array has found of length 2. So if it is telling me 1 on the 0th index, it is telling me that it is a sorry, a cat. And if this was supposed to be 1, then it would tell me that it is a dog. So you can see that, okay, yeah. So you can see that the value here is very small. Like you can say that this is close to 0. So from here we can see that since array of 1, meaning the index 1, is much smaller value, indicating that the model predicted it to be not a dog. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get a dog. Okay. Oops. I made some wrong changes here. Yeah. So yeah, you can see that the 0th index has a value closer to 1. That means that the predicted class is cat. And if the value at first index is closer to 1, that means that the predicted class would be a dog class. Lastly, I'm just saving the model so that I can use this in my Flask framework for prediction. So with this, the first as a whole part has been completed, and now we will start working on the Flask framework.